Hi folks, how is everybody today? Happy Thursday. I'm a little late coming on. I'm having a serious amount of downloading happening and I feel like I'm a little drunk almost. It's like, whatever way the energies and codes are coming through today, I'm like going in and out like that. So grounding is important. I had a message yesterday come through and I thought I would share it, but it's quite long. So I'm just going to pick out some bits from it that maybe resonate with some of us today. And I'm going to just check in what the energy is as well for whoever is watching this now, and we'll catch it in the future, what it is that we're working through. And then I'm going to bring through a little bit of light language. It came through yesterday. I haven't practiced it today, but it was sounding different, and the writing of the Elven language coming through as well, which I just did scribbles of as it came through. And I haven't worked that much with Elven energy, and maybe some of you have, and please post in the comments below if you are very familiar with it. I'm more with the Fae, like elementals, dragons, Fae, fairy. Elven I've kind of very limited interaction with, and I just happened to do some past life work on some stuff regarding my interaction with that, and then I've had that experience come through more and more. Since I've been in Spain, I've had a few visitations a couple of months ago. One was they came through a little portal right there where I'm pointing, and I had a tree, and they walked right there, looked at the tree, came into the room. I was sitting on the couch and they were just like, hey, how's it going? And it was a female, and it was like she was literally making little dimensional portals, going through them and checking out. And she was checking out like nature, essentially there's a nature spot. They were checking it out here, like she was doing a little inspection. And I more or less had like she was looking me up and down kind of a thing, you know. Didn't have much conversation with her because I was just like, oh, hello. And I knew it was a different looking being to ones I've experienced before in the Fae realm. So I knew it was like, it's not a fairy, it's something else. And then I was like, oh, it's Elven. Okay, interesting. We had a little tiny 1/2 a second, 30 seconds communication, and off she went again. And I hadn't really any other interactions with them since I've been here until yesterday. And it may be because I was doing that work around the past life stuff that they came through. The first being that came through was called KeJunta, and his partner was called KeSheila. And they actually told me that there is it's all about dimensions with these beings, okay? They're a different dimensional, like realm dimension, but they have a kind of a gathering spot between France and Spain and the mountain point. And they said they've got lots of these spots around, you know, Europe, around the world. Where at one point there was a much greater access between the human and their realm, the Elven realms. Now they made themselves different to, there are many different, kind of like in Earth, right? You have the African culture, you have the Irish culture, you have the American culture, you know, you have all these different cultures. They kind of said they have similar, you know, they're not the same as, is kind of what they were pointing out to other communities, let's say. They're their own community. And their community has a slightly different, what I would gather was a different dialect or language and focus. So the focus point for this particular community was, they said, we have a contingency to pass over, and again I have this written down, maybe I should write out what they said, but I'm paraphrasing what they said to me, that they have a contingency on Earth right now for those of us that are willing and ready. They said, we're seeking the pure hearts. They made a really specific thing around pure hearts. We are the luminous ones, we're seeking the pure hearts. And those of you that are ready, because we're ready is kind of what they were saying, we will, through the holographic fields, give you the knowledge that was kept from you, essentially to protect yourself. So part of the past life I worked on was around this. So what I saw was they referenced wars, okay, and they called it the war of consciousness, and they also referenced that there was other planetary beings involved in this, and it was from consciousness to unconsciousness is how they referenced this. I'm kind of going all over the place with them. I do have a message, maybe I'll type it out and put it up, but what they kind of showed me was at one point in time, with interference, human consciousness reached a certain point and then started going kind of back down again. And a lifetime that I had there was kind of part of that. I was working with these beings. I was human, I wasn't elven. And we were exchanging knowledge and I was learning, and, you know, I was, you know, they have vast libraries. That's actually one of the things they have. They're different to Fae energy completely. Their energy is, you know, they love song and dance, but it's not the same type of song and dance. There's a regalness around it. And they really, really, to me, they spoke of beauty a lot. Beauty to them is part of like a vibrational core essence of their being, seeing beauty and everything, creating beauty. And beauty very much being in the eye of the beholder, how you're able to raise consciousness through shifting perspective. So that was part of the talk they gave me around that. And that was to access self-love, but also to create what is beautiful for you. What can you create? It doesn't need to look a certain way, but the sequence and frequency of beauty is within it. So they went on a little bit around that, but during that timeline, I kind of went off a little to talk about that past life timeline. We were exchanging a lot through the libraries, and essentially the lifetime I was presented with, power became an issue again. Covetousness was a word they used, covetousness of the knowledge, the wisdom, but rather than being from completely the heart space, it was from the mind space, from wanting more. Covetousness was the word, rather than expansion in the heart, expansion in wisdom, expansion in knowledge to share and be in service. It was like separateness, individualistic. And essentially that I wanted more, and they were like, you're not ready for more. And I didn't like that. This is like me kind of in a paraphrase past life, and kind of set not such a nice way about going through things, and ended up kind of having a bit of an excommunication plastered on me at that time for the stuff that I did or didn't do. So clearing that as well, and clearing any feelings that I've had around that in this lifetime, because there's always a reflection for me to learn from regarding that as well, like ego balancing, right? And from the heart space, what is that? What does that feel like every day? You know, is my intention pure? Am I in service? Is there anything else there? Am I attached to any outcome? So like, this is the type of work that I've been working on, and that's why this lifetime was reflected to me, and they've come through again now, but they've said this is a message for humanity. This message is not just for me. Like, they gave me I did have a whole personal session, but part of the message they wanted me to share was, and I'm going to try and see, can I read this out? A lot of it was around freedom. A lot of it was around empowerment. A lot of it was around a very simple message of open-heartedness, kindness, and beauty, that even when we're in the dark, or even when we're in a thought formation, like let's say I'm having a fat day, right? What can you see is beautiful within you as without of you, changing perspective. Everything was around perspective. And when you follow that train of thought and that train of emotion and feeling, you're creating a much greater space within which to change your current now and create the best version of the reality for you. So there's like a lesson on that. The innate perception of what we be frees us. I'm taking a little breath because there was so much information. I've got pages of it, and I think I'm just jumping in confusion around it. So part of what they said here, I'll go into actually. Okay, so dimensional portals and frequencies, earthen portals, they call them earth stargates, and how these earth stargates or earthen gates, right? Earth gates are what they use between us and them, and between them and their other communities around the different places. and that these will be more accessible now. And, you know, they gave me that example of, like, you know, some of us, they retreated to protect us and protect themselves, protect their knowledge, because it would not have been used for the highest good. And now there's a number of peeps on Earth right now ready to start accessing that vast library of knowledge. In those libraries of knowledge, again, is a lot of the earthen knowledge, a lot of what I would say is almost science, architecture, stuff around free energy, architecture to create more in alignment with Earth. Rather than destroying Earth, you're able to create within alignment of Earth, like create beautiful civilizations that will not damage Earth. So they have all these vast arrays of libraries with this type of information that's been lost, where you have like free energy, water centers, like you have these beautiful communities that have a lovely standard of living, essentially, without creating damage to anything or moving into that consciousness that is maybe not in the highest good and is around greed and, you know, disempowerment of others to have empowerment, you know, less than, greater than. So they're saying that's ready for many of us to access, and that's going to have a whole host of different types of people. So they want to work with us in that way. And they kept going, pure hearts. Those of the pure hearts are who we seek. So they talked about the divine inheritance that is within us now is awaiting to unfold, and they're here to help us achieve that as well, like just by, you know, key codes, locks, sharing their knowledge, sharing their wisdom. They talked about the deception, the untruth, and, you know, feeling disempowered, not able, can't, not good enough, not worthy enough, not deserving enough, feeling overwhelmed, giving up. They talked about that, and essentially they're inviting us to change our perception, to step into more of what's true. Again, I'm paraphrasing everything. I'm not doing a very good job of this, but I do have another session in a few minutes, and I'm late on, so forgive me for that. So KeJunta Wazoo speaks about the language of the heart, and he says, our specific frequency works with Earth. Beauty vibrates between the colors, the smells, the sounds, and he's all about the harmony of nature and the sacred medicine of Earth. He specifically came here talking, like, his area of interest in his community is around plants and plant medicine and tinctures, and his special ability was actually rejuvenation. So KeJunta KeJunta is when he came, he spoke of rejuvenation and elixir of longevity. Now, he said, referencing me in a little bit of a play, like, you've heard the stories of Churn and Oak. So I'm Irish, and we have a lot of legends of this. You know, Churn and Oak is one of those legends. And I was like, oh, okay. So he said that was his expertise, and he's here to help me personally work on rejuvenation of my physical body, my fitness levels, things like that, because that's his expertise. Plant medicine, accessing the key code nature within the plants that will pin, like, they're like pin codes in plants, pin codes in herbs, spices, in the specific structure of sacred food, to access the pin code of the plant, raising its frequency so it'll actually go exactly where it's needed in the body, to help rejuvenate a particular cell structure. So he spoke a lot around that stuff. That was his area of expertise. He talked about how he loves to study, and he also talked about, like, his culture is a culture of, they study a lot. They like to gather knowledge and wisdom. They're all about the expansion of knowledge, wisdom, through harmony of Earth and source frequency, and through harmony of every individual in the group collective. He talked about his star brothers and star sisters. So he referenced that they actually come from a star race, and that they do have, interdimensional abilities to connect with those star races even now. And he references Stargates, that we are also accessing those Stargates now as well. That is our divine inheritance, as well as it's theirs. We're now ready to access that divine inheritance. He just spoke about a lot of the opening up to our divine inheritance is important right now. I'm reading what I already said. I did take notes and I really went all over the place. Yeah, I already said that. Okay, he talked about when they withdrew, and now is the time that they're ready to meet us once again. And they reference that we too have had much healing and growth and expansion during this time period, and we're now ready. Are you ready? This change is coming. The transition is imminent. Those of you joining us will rejoice. We will connect with those of you ready and gift you with the knowledge that focus will help you in moving forward. Then he went kind of into the background and KeSheila stepped forward, and this felt like a feminine energy. She kind of like the partner, the wife of KeJunta. And she talked about the contingency that will work through us for those of us willing and ready. The information is holographic. This I referenced earlier. So the information is holographic. And she said that the more we open up to receiving all that comes to us, you know, from the heart space, the more we keep opening, and, you know, those barriers that we can have or that resistance we can have to change, she's kind of referencing again through perspective, through the heart. The more we open up to receiving all that comes to us, it's going to be easier for us to grasp the concepts and knowledge as a whole. She then spoke a little bit, or kind of gave me the impression of like symbols, sigils, sacred geometries, that these act like bridges into the other dimensions and into their dimensions, as do, let's say, those of us that might not specifically see a lot of sacred geometry or sigils or light language. You might not see it. If you get the sense of a color or a ray, like a rainbow ray, a golden ray, a blue ray, she also referenced that within these rays are the sigils and sacred geometries as well, and that in meditation and focus from the heart, we can just connect and have direct connection, just literally bridging over these earthen dimensions to their dimension, have a little walk around the villages, those of us that are ready and willing, and they're ready and willing to welcome us in. And also for the Stargate, into any learnings that need to happen with the star families. So she kind of gave a quick and a short message around that. So what I'm going to do is just pull his cards and see for the collective what messages they'd like to bring through as well, and bring through their language or a version of that, at least, if I can do it justice, because it's kind of new to me still. I'll show you a little of again, this is notes like I scribbled really fast when this was coming through, some of their kind of sigil-like language. That's upside down. Again, this is really, I ain't no artist at all. I mean, that was the one of transformation there, a language of transformation. So, balance and harmony. Be the reflection of that which you wish to be and experience, was part of that message in those codes. Freedom, abundance, honor, vitality, rejuvenation, divinity, joy, beauty, expression of love as well. So I'm going to pull a card, and these are cards by Light Star. They're brand new to me. Beautiful. They come in a gorgeous presentation. So you have a lovely deck of cards and a lovely book with these. I just think they're gorgeous cards. Light Star. Habzania Kiyati, and they're called Magical Dimensions. Now, I was told a couple of months ago that in the summer there's going to be a lot of solar energy coming to us, and I've just seen a couple of that up online, and I know part of that is what I'm feeling right now as well. Like there's it's like a poultice. It draws out and brings through other codes. So when I say it's like I'm almost going in and out like that, I'm having to breathe, I'm having to integrate the energies as they're coming in and just be super chill about it, because it's intense. Those of you some of you might be feeling that as well. My personal guidance has been to eat lightly the next 3 days, so I'm going to do that. just because there's a lot of energy coming through and portal dimensional energy happening. So some of you might be feeling a lot of different symptoms right now, like what you call ascension symptoms. So hopefully as you keep breathing, connecting, loving yourself, open heart, loving yourself, it's with more ease and grace. It doesn't mean you won't feel it, but it'll be with more ease and grace. Oh wow, right. So the first card I pull is essentially the message of what we just talked about. Here is looking into the dimension of the other being with the key in her hand. I kid you not. So they're telling us now, like, open up to the divine inheritance. This is essentially a confirmation of the message. Open up here to divine inheritance. The keys are within you to access these earthen portals as well as the Stargate portals. Now, the earthen portals bring you into the communities that are within another dimension or realm of Earth. Like, there are many realms within Earth. We can only see what we're vibrationally matching to. And right now we're in various vibrations between 3D, 4D, and some people are in 5, like. So they're a different dimensional vibration. So you might not be able to touch them, smell them, taste them in the same way you would your person that's sitting beside you. But they're saying many of us are now ready through our open, pure heart consciousness to use our keys to enter into their realms and learn from them. Now, this card specifically says adventure, innocence. So inner sense, the inner senses, accessing your inner senses, okay? And that is through the heart, accessing all of the senses, listening to the body, the gut, brain, okay? That gives you intuition. When we're clearing that as well, the clearer we get in that, the clearer intuition is. The senses, the subtle data from outside of ourselves, like smells, sounds, taste. What does it feel like? What sensation am I feeling in my body? What colors am I seeing? Am I hearing something? Am I feeling something? Am I getting the impression of? So these inner senses and innocence, they bring us into the heart. We're like children. We're like, what if? Imagine if. What would that feel like if? And you're getting into the sense of it. And then you're matching that when you're doing that. Play and discovery. So we know that, you know, the Fae are renowned for their play, particularly fairy folk. These beings that particularly met me didn't feel the same. They were more like, you know, a little more, they loved to sing and dance, but it was not as cray-cray as the fairy singing, dancing. It was very, like, there was a more refinement to it, if that makes sense. Not that it's better than, it's just a slightly different version of play and song. And the important thing is that it's the purity of play from the heart all the time. They're not playing pranks. It's the purity of play, the innocence of play. And there was like, there's a difference in that. Play without judgment. Like when you create something and you're enjoying it, and then do you look at it and go, oh, that's a bit disappointing, because this happens to me. In my mind, it looked great, and then I try to put it on paper and it's like, it's not, isn't it? And then I judge it. All right, that's something I have to work on. And you know, that's when I'm doing even my creative writing for light language, right? Like, it's not how it looks in my head. Why can't it look as good? But moving out of that judgment, allowing it to be as it is a major part of this innocence of play. And with that, there's discovery. So that's what we're working on right now, is accessing our divine inheritance. The next card I'm going to pull is the lessons that we're learning as a collective, and then I'm going to pull a card for the future. Why are we doing that? So the lessons that we are learning, wow. The reason, this is what we're doing, we're accessing our divine inheritance. The lessons that we're going through, why we're trying to do this, why we're doing this, is the challenges, releasing the blocks, releasing the fears, the negativity, and the betrayal. Look at that card. That's a freaking power card. There's a lot going on in this, and it looks like it's loud. This card is loud, right? This card is very loud. I've never pulled that card. It's a brand new deck. So challenges. What are the challenges that we will face? So this feels like releasing the dark night of the soul. Okay, there's literally snow and darkness and stars. Those of us that might be in the dark night of the soul or moving through that right now, we're being invited into the innocence and play to help us move through this. Right, these are the challenges we're facing. Releasing blocks and fears and negativity. This really is a very collective energy. Like really, we not to get caught up in that collective. That yes, we have those, but we can change our perspective to move through it. Why are we doing that? Oh my God, there you go. Again, these are brand new cards to me, so I'm just for the first time pulling these. The number 13, which is a divine feminine number associated with, you know, the Mary Magdalene, that kind of beautiful Christed number, divine feminine. Why are we doing this? We're moving through these challenges so that we are entering into our empowerment. Now that was the message, was freedom. Freedom. But know that freedom you can choose, you know, freedom is a choice as well of the mind, of the soul, of the body, and of the experience. We can choose to be free in love, or we could choose to be free in something else, like, you know. So freedom expands through love was the message they were giving. So this is the empowerment. This is why we're going through the dark night of the soul. And right now we are accessing our divine inheritance, opening those key codes, but we'll have many challenges moving through our own stuff, right? Or we might be in the middle of that, so that we completely become empowered. Grounded, strength and stamina. Now there's a lovely unicorn energy there. The elven realms are obviously, they're, you know, the earthen realms. They're very much into Gaian frequency and how we can access that frequency for our own healing. Grounding is really important right now, especially as we're clearing out and bringing through a lot of light codes. I'm bringing through energy right now, excuse me. I begin to burp or yawn when it starts to happen before I bring through the transmission. It's already happening. So, so even now as I'm like breathing, I'm just softening the body all the way down to the sitting space, softening the feet, feeling the magnetism of the feet and the body in the chair, on the ground and into the earth. Movement of the body is important right now. Blessing your food is important. Blessing your water is important for you, to help you. These are all your own innate ability to help you. And they'll be helping you with grounding as well. I'm seeing specific body movements, like they're showing me ways to release trapped emotion or stuck energy. And I'm just like people that are grinding their teeth at night, like tension in the face, tension around the face here, tension in the shoulders and the neck. And again, they're showing the automatic nervous system right now. And this is one of the things we go through in our light language group courses. When we bring through massive amounts of light, if we're not embodied fully, or we're in that process of embodiment, our nervous systems, because they might, you know, if there's any imbalance in the nervous system, hyper or hypo, it has to go through a reset. And that reset can be very uncomfortable when we're bringing through a lot of light flows. So resetting our nervous systems every day, daily, is really, really powerful for us right now. And these are simple techniques. Humming, gargling, bringing conscious breath, tapping, body movement, Tai Chi, Qigong. All of these reset the nervous systems. Vagal nerve resets, exercises. Cold hot water like dips, that kind of Wim Hof, okay, that thing, all reset the nervous system. Swimming resets the nervous system. Singing resets it. Co-regulation with others, and when I say with others, it's not others that are deregulated. Co-regulation with others that are regulated, so people that are quite peaceful and naturally calm, or you're working through things together in an open heart space, you'll create co-regulation together. Animals help you co-regulate. So animals are naturally going to help you co-regulate. And that's why they're healers, right? Like dogs, horses, cats, they're all heal. They help heal their owners or people around them. Going out in nature and consciously connecting to nature as well. So there's various techniques for regulation of the nervous system right now. And the reason I'm saying that is this card is around empowerment. Means we need to be stable to take in that energy as well. Hold it and not kind of waver, not be wavering and, you know, spinning in it, getting overwhelmed in it. Truth, voice is all part of that. Speaking our truth, being in our truth, being from the heart in our truth, creating from the womb. Habdiak waiki, the holy sacral, holy sacral. Habdina noeke, masakaiki. So that's a lot of the messages coming through. Quite interesting. Your divine inheritance awaits. The keys are ready there for you to enter in and gain that access and knowledge. Know that there will be, for us to work through our challenges, our fears, okay? Our blocks, our negativities, or as without, so within, the collective as well, right? As a union in the collective. But the whole end game is empowerment. The whole end game is strength and stamina. And empowerment is, I mean, that is being true. It's authentic. When you see a person who's fully empowered in their gifts, their body, their ability, their wealth, their abundance, their joy, empowered in their relationships, in their purpose and passion and service of life and source and creator, and that's heaven. You're creating heaven. Okay, so let me see. I'm just gonna invite in now. If anybody has a question, I would love to hear of your own experiences with the Elven communities, and as they really clearly said, they have different types of Elven communities as well, so maybe you have a different type to the one I experienced. It makes me curious to experience the others. So let's bring them through. Please comment below if you have that and bring in your own messages. I'm just going to invite in for the highest good. KeJunta KeSheila, welcome you through now, just to bring through a transmission for the highest good. Is that possible today? Thank you. And I'm going to invite you to receive this with an open heart, open body. Take a few breaths in with me now just to soften. In and out. And you can open the mouth, soften the jaw. Open the mouth, the tongue, soften the tongue. They're kind of bringing my attention to tension around the neck, shoulders, up here. And they're bringing my attention to the nether regions, the nether regions, and tension being held in the lower back, hips, root chakra, your sacred sex area. They're bringing my attention to blocks around the third eye or veils. They're just inviting now for us to breathe in and set your own intention if you wish to release, remove, clear through time, space, dimensions, realities, past, present, future, all contracts, vows, binds, oaths, implants, energies, not serving you for the highest good right here, right now, in truth, love, and highest wisdom. So that if that is something you would like, you just say, I do, I am, I agree, I invoke in, and just invoke in now your own I am, higher self presence to receive. I am open to receive. I invite my I am to be with me so that I'm protected and safe in receiving. Am I ready to release? Yes or no? Take a breath into that. Oh, we're going to invite that release. I'm just really sensing a lot of tension around here. Oya ma wa si duriala. Rola liamalawi. Wa eliala.
Holale melewa, u malali, ninmarar, uramdli ninmrad aili aewa, onaye amnara trire, dana mata leto, marind aye, man ingoro alle ni ondana okto e masike. Zawaye. Big breath in and out. 3 nice deep ones. And I'm going to get you to do an with me. A-U-M. And they're inviting sound through because they want to work through the sound channels. Soften down into the belly, soften the belly, let it go. Soften the diaphragm, right? So sometimes we hold tension in the diaphragm, and then soften and sigh into the urethra, the back passage, the perineum. Soften all those spaces on the exhale, so breathing in through the nose. Now you're softening the sitting space, and you'll feel that. So we're going to invite in now KeJunta, please, and KeSheila. KeJunta de ewa ka yin toro lewa mane. Matare. Minisha, mantke oke, mandie mantike mondoke, horonke malarinde mindike, ndaye, umsana atara, ora nimraye, roda ebeke bashkata are, ore mleke, Zuru tutu remdene, zuru timdene mnauru. Ndingaye, ndogoye, okotoye, mashiba. Mandine mahe wehele, mondanayere alla blea, shahila, swale wazunane iga ande nandig inga ahale memtor memtare memtelishe bote magate beliltela batula male melish malake Malish Malake, Meltul Maleye Kalaka. Nana Ringare, Nalauro Kola Egre, Malia Kriala, Moleke Krika Se Masoro. Mishire Surutur de Warable. Mishire Tu Sorubdale Marable. Mambaya ke mama emene ebde babu emene ke mama mo emene manama mo emene manama mana ube eke mushukaiti. KeSheila, surasaye otoro amdigri melish. Meas krakens kan iwe ete, naringalalo olo, Mashila makayekiya ma sotoko. Mantar minishe. Bro afasali wasula male ike. Bashktar imle wai. Anishe ekiata, urondane ete, monza yetsi malakia tariti ma tutukoye, si ma tari ki ma tu ki ham. KeJunta KeSheila, mentare moso ke, ma kia ta, uro ehe. Ringa ale esu pote. Let me know how that felt. They're telling me to relax to receive them in. I feel a little uncomfortable. And I know that's partly because I'm still clearing some of that past lifetime thing. So that's interesting for me to receive that as well. We had a frequency shift where a gnome came in for like 2 seconds, if any of you reference that, in between KeJunta and KeSheila, and he came in with something to help ground and soften us to bring through more of the codes. Hamdi Aiki, they're quite gentle with me today. So thank you. They're showing me tinctures and homeopathy, and they're playing a flute right now, and they're just saying like it's time that we're accessing a lot more of that plant nature and medicine, and that if any of you do take those things, that invite that energy in to amplify it even more for you to receive whatever it is that you need. And some of you already know this, and I'm just validating. They're saying you're validating for some of you watching out there. So thank you. So that is the Elven KeJunta and KeSheila. Thank you. And there's kids playing outside now in the water as well. You can hear the play of the children. How beautiful. Thank you for joining me. And any of you that want to join me for Lionsgate, because I did it last year and the year before, 0808 in August. I've just uploaded, I can already feel some stuff coming through for that, that portal gateway. And it was a very powerful transmission last year. So you can check out through Ticketgate, you can register for your place, the spaces will be limited. And tickets are 22. For that, there'll be a Facebook group as well to help with integration and for our shares as well in that. So that's 0808, August 8th. I've had some people ask me, am I going to do another Mary Magdalene Shekinah transmission? And I may well do. I'm thinking maybe the 21st of July. And this feels very much the Christ energy again, wanting to come through. And I mean, a lady asked me yesterday again, would I do another one? And I hadn't thought about it until she said it, and I'm like, I can feel that wants to come through. So I will, if there's enough of you interested in that, please post below.
I might hold that as well on Zoom on the 21st of July. And that's kind of what is for now. All right, I love you all. Thank you. Bye.